In a landscape where pass rushers are becoming increasingly pivotal, Nick Herbig is stepping into the spotlight as a game-changer for the Pittsburgh Steelers. The rookie linebacker has not only made a name for himself, but has also become a nightmare for opposing offenses, showcasing his ability to disrupt plays and create chaos in the backfield. A force to be reckoned with. Herbig's impact was evident during the preseason, where he consistently pressured quarterbacks and made key plays that shifted the momentum in favor of the Steelers. His relentless pursuit and quick burst off the line of scrimmage have drawn comparisons to some of the league's best pass rushers. With each snap, he proves that he is more than just another player on the roster. He is a cornerstone of the Steelers' defensive strategy. Highlight reel plays. Throughout the preseason games, Herbig has compiled an impressive array of highlight reel plays that have captured the attention of fans and analysts alike. From his explosive tackles to his ability to read plays and react swiftly, he has demonstrated a high football IQ and an instinct for the game. These qualities have set him apart, making him an essential component of the Steelers' defensive scheme. Building chemistry with the defense. As Herbig settles into his role, his chemistry with fellow defenders is becoming increasingly apparent. The Steelers' defense is known for its tenacity, and Herbig fits right into that mold. His ability to communicate and work in tandem with veterans is helping to solidify a unit that aims to dominate the field. With each game, the synergy among the defensive players is palpable, and Herbig is contributing significantly to that dynamic. Looking ahead. As the regular season approaches, all eyes will be on Herbig to see how he continues to develop. His performance thus far has not only earned him a place in the starting lineup, but has also raised expectations for what he can achieve in the NFL. The Steelers are counting on him to maintain this trajectory and become a key player as they pursue their goals for the season. With his relentless energy and knack for making pivotal plays, Nick Herbig is not just a rookie pass rusher. He is quickly becoming a star in the making for the Pittsburgh Steelers, ready to wreak havoc on opposing offenses throughout the season. The Steelers rushed a season-high 29 times for a season-high 131 yards in last Sunday's 24-21 win over Minnesota in Dublin. They also averaged a season-high 4.5 yards per carry and scored 2 rushing touchdowns, after having managed just one of those over the season's first 3 weeks. According to the stat sheet and the eye test, the offensive line played its best game to date. Yes, we did. Offensive line coach Pat Meyer confirmed. But it wasn't just the offensive line, Meyer emphasized. Obviously, it's a collective group, he continued. It's everything. It's the line, the backs, the tight ends, the wideouts. We were gelling more as an offense. The Steelers' previous best output on the ground had been 72 yards on September 14th against Seattle. This time, they surpassed 100 yards on the ground and outrushed an opponent for the first time in 2025. We're working it every week, Meyer said. We're working to get better each and every week, and that's what we expect. There's a lot more to it when you talk run game than just an offensive line. It's the quarterback getting us into the right checks and doing that stuff. We'll continue to work it. It's been good for us, especially this past week. Another difference in Dublin was the amount of times backup offensive lineman Spencer Anderson was deployed as an additional tight end. Anderson played 19 offensive snaps against the Vikings, often lining up next to tight end Darnell Washington. Anderson had played 9 offensive snaps in the first 3 games. We saw something with that team that we were like, we can go heavier and do that and build off of that, Meyer said. We have a heavy tight end, Washington as it is. He's bigger than most of the linemen. Spencer did a nice job. He did a nice job last year when he was in there as a starter for the 4 games he started. He's a big, twitchy, athletic, physical lineman, a kid that's got twitch to him. It was just a way to get him on the field. It's something we'll look into each and every week. The Steelers thrived against the Vikings despite multiple low snaps delivered by center Zach Frazier to quarterback Aaron Rodgers in shotgun formation, an issue Meyer acknowledged, but one he doesn't anticipate will linger. In a game, we talked to him, Meyer explained. You don't want to say too much in a game because you don't want him thinking about it too much either. Aaron will say something like, "Hey bro, just be you." We tell him, "Hey, it's gotta be better." That's something that's non-negotiable. It's like jumping off sides. The snap has to be there. In the gun, it's just gotta be consistent, and it's gotta be 100%. Not 99%, it's gotta be 100%. It's gotta get done the right way. He'll fix it. He's a football guy, he loves it. He understands the consequences when something like that happens. I don't expect it to continue at all. According to Jerry Dulock of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, Pittsburgh Steelers receiver Calvin Austin III could miss several games due to a shoulder injury. He was reported to have left the stadium in Ireland to potentially get x-rays on his injured shoulder. If he has bad news from those possible x-rays, he could be out for a while. The Steelers cannot afford to lose him for long. For one reason or another, Roman Wilson has failed to get many targets heading into the Steelers bye week. He has been targeted only twice over 4 games. He had a monster preseason, and many thought Wilson would garner plenty of chances to show his worth. A potential absence from Austin could get the second-year receiver a shot, but he appears to be in the doghouse. If the coaches fail to give Wilson a realistic shot, they could rely on Scotty Miller to hold down the fort. Their best course of action, especially if Austin is out long-term, would be to search for an upgrade in the trade market. They could potentially attack a weaker team's roster in search of a potential solution. The Carolina Panthers, in particular, have a player who could really use a change of scenery after a slow start to his career. Pittsburgh Steelers could trade for Xavier Legette to replace injured Calvin Austin III. It's unknown if Carolina would be willing to part with Xavier Legette so soon, but it's worth giving a call. He shouldn't cost too much to get in a deal, but those parameters would be laid out in negotiations. Legette hasn't produced top receiver numbers during his time with the Panthers, but that's not what the Steelers need. They only need him to be a reliable second option for them. Injury is another issue surrounding the former first-round pick right now, as he tries to work his way back from a hamstring issue. If his health checks out, the Steelers could make some trade inquiries. He hasn't been great in Carolina, but that franchise continues to struggle. The second-year receiver has the moxie you like to see in a potential top playmaker for an NFL offense, but he needs to translate that onto the field in terms of production. Pittsburgh showed plenty of pre-draft interest in Xavier Legette when he entered the process in 2024. They were unable to select him in the first round since they went in a different direction, but the young receiver should remain on their radar. The Panthers selected him with hopes he could become their top playmaker on offense, but he has struggled to hang on to stardom this season. Austin's potential absence due to injury could be a massive problem for Pittsburgh. They cannot rely on Miller to be their top replacement, and it seems like they aren't comfortable with Wilson. Acquiring Legette in a potential trade would bring in a player who needs a fresh start and can become a top receiver in the league. They're familiar with him from the draft process.